Ip Man, the life journey of a martial arts legend. Ip Man, also known as Yip Man, was born on October 1st, 1893, in Foshan, China, into a wealthy family. He grew up in comfort, but was deeply passionate about martial arts from an early age. His journey would take him from privilege to hardship, and eventually to legendary status as the Grandmaster of Wing Chun and the teacher of Bruce Lee. Early years and martial arts training. As a child, Ip Man began training in Wing Chun Kung Fu under Chan Shun, a respected master. However, Chan was old and passed away shortly after taking Ip Man as a student. Before his death, Chan entrusted his student Chung Sok with continuing Ip Man's training. Later, as a teenager, Ip Man moved to Hong Kong for his studies and met Lung Bic, the son of Chan Shun's own teacher. Lung Bic refined Ip Man's Wing Chun skills, elevating his techniques beyond what he had previously learned. Return to Foshan and life as a police officer. After finishing his education, Ip Man returned to Foshan, where he became a police officer. He lived a comfortable life, training in martial arts for passion rather than necessity. During this time, he also quietly began teaching Wing Chun to a select few students. However, his peaceful life was disrupted by the Second Sino-Japanese War, 1937 to 1945. When the Japanese army invaded China, Ip Man refused to cooperate with them, leading to the loss of his home and wealth. He was forced into hardship, struggling to provide for his family. Fleeing to Hong Kong and becoming a teacher. After the Chinese Civil War, the Communist Party took control of mainland China. As a former police officer from a wealthy background, Ip Man feared persecution. In 1949, he fled to Hong Kong, leaving his family behind. He lived in poverty, but soon started teaching Wing Chun publicly for the first time. At first, he had difficulty attracting students, but his reputation grew as his fighters won street challenges. He established the first formal Wing Chun school and taught many disciples, including Wang Shunlung, Lung Ting, and Bruce Lee. His teaching helped spread Wing Chun worldwide. Later years and legacy. As he aged, Ip Man continued refining his martial arts philosophy. He believed in discipline, humility, and the importance of adapting to modern fighting methods. Even in his final years, he remained dedicated to training and documenting Wing Chun techniques. In 1972, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, but continued teaching until his death on December 2nd, 1972. Shortly before passing, he filmed his last Wing Chun demonstration, ensuring that his knowledge would be preserved. Today, Ip Man's legacy lives on through his students and the global spread of Wing Chun. His influence can be seen in modern martial arts, especially through Bruce Lee, who revolutionized combat sports with his teachings. Conclusion: Ip Man's life was a journey of discipline, hardship, and perseverance. From a privileged childhood to war-torn struggles and eventually becoming a martial arts legend, he remained true to his principles. His legacy continues to inspire generations of martial artists, proving that true mastery is not just about fighting, but about self-improvement and resilience. Would you like me to include details about his influence on movies or culture? Ip Man, the life journey of martial arts. Legend Ip Man, also known as Yip Man, was more than just a martial artist. He was a teacher, a warrior, and a symbol of resilience. His journey took him from a privileged upbringing to a life of struggle. Yet he left behind an enduring legacy that shaped the world of martial arts forever. Through hardship, war, and personal sacrifice, he remained true to his beliefs, spreading Wing Chun across the world and inspiring countless practitioners, including the legendary Bruce Lee, early life, and martial arts training. Ip Man was born on October 1st, 1893, in Foshan, a city in China's Guangdong province. Coming from a wealthy family, he received a high-quality education, which was rare at the time. However, his greatest passion was martial arts. At the age of 7, he began training in Wing Chun, a close combat martial art that emphasizes quick movements, economy of motion, and efficiency. His first teacher, Chan Washun, was already old and could only train him for a few years before passing away. Ip Man continued learning under Kung Chung Sok, a senior disciple of Chan. As a teenager, he moved to Hong Kong to study at St. Stephen's College, an elite school for wealthy families. There, he met Lung Bik, the son of Chan Washun's own teacher. Lung Bik helped refine and elevate his Wing Chun skills, teaching him advanced techniques that his previous teachers had not fully covered. This period greatly influenced Ip Man, making him one of the most skilled Wing Chun practitioners of his time. Returned to Foshan and the struggles of war after completing his education, Ip Man returned to Foshan, where he became a police officer. His position gave him stability, and he continued practicing Wing Chun, occasionally teaching students. However, martial arts remained more of a personal pursuit rather than a career. Everything changed when at the Second Sino-Japanese War, 1937 to 1945, broke out. The Japanese army invaded China, and like many others, Ip Man suffered greatly. As an officer, he refused to cooperate with the invaders, which led to him losing his home, wealth, and security. Forced into poverty, he struggled to provide for his family and often went hungry. Despite these hardships, he never gave up his belief in martial arts and honor. After World War II ended, Ip Man resumed his life in Foshan, but China was changing. The Communist Party took control in 1949, and as a former police officer from a wealthy background, Ip Man feared persecution. He made a difficult decision to flee to Hong Kong, leaving behind his family in mainland China. A new beginning in Hong Kong. Teaching Wing Chun, Ip Man arrived in Hong Kong with nothing but his skills and experience. He was in his mid-50s, homeless, and struggling to find work. In 1950, he made history by opening the first public Wing Chun school. At first, his school attracted only a handful of students, but as word spread, more and more fighters challenged his students. Each time, Wing Chun prevailed, and his reputation grew. He trained a new generation of martial artists, including Wang Shunlong, Lung Ting, and Bruce Lee. One of his most famous students, Bruce Lee, would go on to revolutionize martial arts with his own philosophy, Jeet Kune Do. Bruce credited Ip Man as his most important teacher, and their relationship helped bring Wing Chun to the world stage later years and lasting legacy. As Ip Man aged, he continued to refine his martial arts philosophy. He believed in discipline, humility, and the importance of adapting to modern fighting techniques. Even in his later years, he remained dedicated to teaching and preserving Wing Chun. In 1972, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, likely caused by his lifelong habit of smoking. Despite his illness, he insisted on filming his final Wing Chun demonstration, ensuring that his techniques were documented for future generations. Just weeks later, on December 2nd, 1972, he passed away at the age of, however, his legacy did not die with him. His students carried on his teachings, and today, Wing Chun is practiced by martial artists all over the world. His impact was further immortalized through movies, particularly the Ip Man film series, starring Donnie Yen, which brought his story to global audiences. Conclusion: the man who defended tradition. Ip Man's life was a testament to resilience, discipline, and wisdom. He endured war, personal loss, and hardship, yet he remained steadfast in his beliefs and dedicated to his craft. Through his teachings, he not only preserved Wing Chun, but also inspired a new generation of martial artists, including Bruce Lee, whose influence shaped modern combat sports. His journey from a privileged childhood to a life of struggle, and finally to martial arts legend, is a powerful reminder that true mastery is not just about fighting, but about self-improvement, honor,